at that third trimester mark, was that when you started thinking more about your birth experience, or were you thinking about it a little bit beforehand, or kind of walk us through that?
So a little bit of both, because I did not enjoy Roman's birth, and then obviously having a miscarriage. I didn't think about it as a form of birth until it actually happened to me, but
Yeah.
miscarriage is a form of birth, and so my
Yeah.
first two births were not how I had wanted them to be, and so I thought, okay, I need to do something different because it definitely didn't work with Roman, just going in there winging it. And I actually switched providers in the middle of my pregnancy this time around. And so they had a completely different protocol for handling my Spina Bifida Occulta. And so they had told me I needed to have an anesthesia consult just to make sure. They said, you had one with your first, so I'm sure it'll be fine. So I have my anesthesia consult, and they asked for x-rays of my spine. And so I said, I don't have any x-rays of my adult spine, but I will reach out to my parents. And well, my parents don't have any x-rays even from when I was diagnosed originally as a child.
Wow.
So the anesthesia consult said, okay, well, without x-rays, we're not going to authorize an epidural. And obviously you can't get x-rays right now because you're pregnant. So I was like, oh my goodness, not only am I going to go through birth again, but I can't have an epidural this time.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I really need to prepare for this birth.
Yeah.
So I reached out to all my friends who've had babies, and I asked them if they've ever had an unmedicated birth and what they did and what helped them. And some of them gave me some tips from like amber jewelry to, different positions and stuff like that. And I also did research on essential oils, and I found you and your videos on YouTube, and I watched a ton of them and just really educated myself on what a contraction is, why it's painful, different ways to measure progress with birth. I loved your letting go of fear meditation videos, and my husband enjoyed the how to be a supportive birth partner, and we would just watch so many of your videos and really educated ourselves on, okay, we've been through this before, but we're really gonna get a hold of this, and we are gonna get in the mindset that we can do this without an epidural. And I also asked all of our friends and family to pray that my labor would be really quick and that I would be able to do it without medication. Because shortly after I found out I couldn't have the epidural is when the COVID-19 pandemic started. And so then the hospital changed their policies and were no longer offering laughing gas to laboring women. And so my pain medication option was narrowed down to one IV pain medication, fentanyl.
Yeah.
And I had tried an IV pain medication, Stadol with Roman, and I did not like it. And so I just was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it all the way. And I'm going to pray, and I'm going to prepare that I can do this completely without medication. That way, I don't even have to see if the IV medication helps or not, because if it doesn't, there's no more options. I also have an aunt who is a labor and delivery nurse, and so I called and talked to her too about, my experience with Roman and, how she thought I could prepare. And I just followed her advice about educating myself and breathing techniques. That was another video that I watched of yours over and over, is the different breathing techniques. And my husband and I, like the last month of my pregnancy, we were going on a walk almost every day with Roman. And we live in a very hilly part of Virginia. And so our walks lots of hills. So I would practice my breathing going up those hills.
You go, girl.
My husband was like, "You're doing great," and stuff. And, he helped me practice. He would name a breathing technique, and then I would,
That's
do it.
Great. That's a great idea for practicing. I love it.
And it was really cute too, because Roman would, he would practice with us.
Yes. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I packed like a separate little essential oil labor bag with all of the essential oils I wanted to use during labor. And
which essential oils did you pack?
Oh, I packed a ton. I packed frankincense and lavender and peace and calming and valor and clary sage.
I love it.
And geranium. So I packed a ton. And I wrote down for my husband all of the oils and color coded and gave him directions about, okay, this is the oil I might want to use in this situation, and this is how you apply it and stuff like that. And we went over it beforehand so that he, wouldn't be flustered in the moment.
Yeah.
So that's how we were prepared this time.
Mama, if you love this snippet from the Built to Birth podcast, you can hear the full story and other positive and empowering birth stories just like this one by clicking the boxes on the screen. You can also check out builttobirth.com for resources on how to have a happier, healthier, and easier birth.